Welcome everyone. Here we will be discussing rehabilitation and physiotherapy in our healthcare management system. By the end of this video, you will know what is rehabilitation, how can we plan therapy, and how can we manage exercises in Aasaan ERP. So, to start with, let us consider a patient has been discharged. In order to regain energy and make himself strong both mentally and physically, there are a set of activities that will be prescribed to him. That is where the rehabilitation and physiotherapy operations will commence. We shall go ahead and see how we can streamline these activities in the ERP by setting up various operations. Firstly, let us create some exercise types so that we can classify the exercises based on the difficulty level, body parts for which it will be prescribed, and the steps involved in the same. Let us begin by creating a new exercise type. Here we will give the name of the exercise, what is the difficulty level. We can define the difficulty level and the body parts in the masters. Then what is the description of that exercise type. Then if we have any visual video or any documents against that exercise tab, we can attach them here. Then after that, in this table we can add various steps involved in that exercise, like the first step, what to do, then what is the description. For the first step, if we have different documents like video or any image, we can attach it here and we can add multiple steps against that exercise. Okay. So, as a therapist, we may prescribe a number of different therapies for a patient. Every therapist might have a set of exercises. Asan Yapi helps us templatize the therapies using the therapy type. With this, we can create and link therapies to healthcare service units, add standard rates and item details for billing. We can also add exercise according to the body parts. Let us see how to create a new therapy type. First, we will enter the name of the therapy type. Here, we will enter the default duration in minutes, under which service unit it will fall under. Is it billable? What is the medical department? Do any nursing tasks needs to be involved in this therapy type? What are the item details as described sometimes back? What is the medical coding? What is the therapy is for? What are the exercises involved? Everything can be defined in the therapy type. A therapy plan lists all the therapies required for the patient along with the number of sessions. It also keeps track of the progress as per the number of sessions completed. Let's create a therapy plan by adding the add new therapy plan. Here we will select the patient, then the status and the start date of the therapy plan. After that, we will select a therapy plan template if it is applicable. Otherwise, manually, we will be inputting what therapy type it is there, what is the number of sessions required, how many sessions are completed. We'll keep on updating once it is completed. Therapy plan templates are used by some healthcare facilities for prescribing therapy plans as a package. In such cases, the number of sessions to be conducted and the total cost is fixed. The therapy plan created using the template will not be built for individual sessions but for a package as a whole. To create a new therapy plan template, we'll come under rehabilitation and physiotherapy, and here we will find a therapy plan template. Here to create a new one, we'll click on the add button. An item will be created for the therapy plan template as a whole for billing purposes. We can also use a existing item. In the therapy type section, select the types which is covered under the template. The rate is fetched from the therapy type document. Enter the number of sessions to be conducted for each therapy type. The amount is calculated as a product of number of sessions and the rate. Item price is created and updated for the linked item accordingly. The total sessions and the total amount is calculated and set in the fields respectively. Click on Save once completed. Therapy session helps the patient have a face-to-face interaction with the therapist. performed individually or in a group setting. It also helps us map the patient's progress by keeping track of the activities required for the patient to complete each exercise. To create the therapy session, we'll click on the Add button. If a patient appointment has been booked for the session, select the appointment. All the other details will be automatically fetched. If no appointment has been booked, select the patient, select the therapy type and the therapy plan for the patient. Once we have selected the therapy type, all the details of the template will be automatically fetched. Select the therapist in the healthcare practitioner field. We can select a start date and a time and save it. We can then increase the number of counts completed, and once a particular exercise has been completed, select the level of assistance required for that exercise. Let's submit the documents once finished. When a patient is in rehab, there will be a lot of sessions or evaluations taken to track their progress. These evaluations have certain parameters based on which the patient's progress will be evaluated. Different forms have different scales to rate progress. We can create all such patient assessment forms seamlessly in Aasaan ERP by creating patient assessment templates. To create a patient assessment template, we will name the template and we will select the various parameters required for assessment. Here we can select the parameters and we can also create parameters from the patient assessment parameter module. Here we can create various assessment parameters. So going back, we can give minimum scale and the maximum scale and what is the assessment description, and we'll create the patient assessment template. Once the template is created, we'll move on to patient assessment. Let's create one patient assessment. We have an option to select a therapy session, select the patient assessment template, and then we can start the assessment by selecting the score against each parameters. Once all the details are added, click on save. The total score obtained will be calculated as the sum of all the individual parameters score obtained. We can also add time and comments while evaluating individual parameters in the assessment table. And at last, we can submit the form after all the details are added.